This officially started. Welcome to Cannabis Pitch Live. I'm Reginald Grant. Our special guests today are Eric Rice, CEO and founder of Quanta. He'll talk about that. We'll turn it over to Jeff, and we know at 7:30 we come out with Chef Nico with his cooking segment. He's gonna razzle and dazzle us with some great food that'll make you hungry. I always try to eat before he gets on.
Absolutely.
Jeff, it's on you.
All right. Good evening and welcome to Cannabis Pitch Live for today's July 15th, 2020. And tonight we are going to be joined by, as Reggie said, Eric Rice from Quanta. And he's going to be talking to us as a guest speaker about his product that I happen to have right here, which is the Quanta Muscle Grub, and probably more things that he's brought out since the last time I saw Eric. And I took a whole bunch of these samples, and I still only have one left. So, Eric, if you're out there and you're listening, maybe you can send me more. Appreciate that. It's good. I can't get away from using it, and I can tell you this. I have to fight my wife for the tub, so, you know, that's good. And so I'm proud to introduce Eric Rice and Quanta tonight as our featured guest and sponsor to talk about a couple of things that about what his company is up to. As normal, we will also be talking a little bit about the capital raising situation, and we'll also be talking about the environment of cannabis. So without further ado, let's welcome Eric Rice and Quanta.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, Eric. So if you wouldn't mind, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your company and give us a 30,000-foot view of what Quanta is up to now.
Sure. Yeah. So we are in the cannabis space, but our true focus and core competency lies in a emerging science called quantum biology. So we're the first commercial company to actually apply quantum mechanics to biological entities to improve their performance. So we started out in the licensing business, but back then nobody was really paying attention to quantum for anything except for potentially for computing. So we're using the same sort of methodologies and mechanics, except with biological entities. And it was a little confusing for the market. So we ended up launching our own products, and we started in CBD. And because of that space is wide open, unregulated at the time. It's getting more regulated now, which is a good thing. But it was an emerging area where people were excited to buy the products, and we wanted to kind of shine in that space as bright as we could. So over the last year and a half, almost 2 years now in the market, we've done a few $1 million in sales of that muscle rub product with literally no marketing. It's all been organic, done through doctors' offices and hospitals and pain groups and chiropractors and stuff like that. So we sell into the medical area. But we've expanded our product lines into tinctures. We've always had a vape, but into the tincture space, and now we're really getting into our core, which again, CBD is a portion of our business. What we're really in is anti-aging and human optimization. So our in the coming 2 weeks, we'll be launching out about 14 products for skin anti-aging, so beauty products like facial masks and serums and creams and things like that. And then in the fourth quarter of this year, we'll be launching out an entire nutraceutical line with natural ingredients and supplements that are polarized, so they have a higher effective rate in the body. They'll act like a medicine, for lack of a better term. They won't be a medicine because they're not going to be drugs, but they'll be natural products that provide real solutions to people. Like that rub gets rid of your pain. This will help boost testosterone or help you sleep or help you think, cognition, things like that. So that's really where we're moving towards. It's really exciting being able to use this type of science to create these types of solutions for people in an affordable environment. Ooh, I think you're muted.
Okay, thank you. All right, so a little bit of a background when people use CBD for the first time. What is your take on microdosing, and what is your take on, what you would tell someone to do to start absorbing some of the CBD to get those receptors in your body opening Because some people use it for the first time and they go, it didn't work. So they take a lot of it and then they try to, just take as much as they can just because they think, well, it didn't work that way. And then some people just give up because they don't think, well, it's not working. So how do you tell people, okay, I'm going to start using the muscle rub. I'm going to start using a tincture, use this, use that, whatever it is. What would be your expert opinion to give to people on how to use it, how long it should take to, open your body up to absorbing the cannabis?
Sure. Well, I'm going to be biased in my opinion here because I don't actually believe that our CBD is like anything other, and I'll explain why. So, well, a lot of times, I'm a former athlete, had to stop taking ibuprofen. I found CBD myself as a natural alternative to relieve inflammation. And I got about, similar results to like a weaker ibuprofen, but with more natural side effects, right? So good side effects instead of bad. But in that space, I started out in the same way where it took 5 or 6 different brands till I figured out something could work and I needed a lot of it. And here's why that happens, and this is the problem that we solve. So cannabis, like any other natural ingredient used in a topical or ingestible, is a natural, it's a plant. It was alive. And just to explain it back in I still remember sophomore year of high school learning in a science, the only thing I learned in a science class was bioenergy, which I use today. And the strange thing is, because I remember the teacher said, everything has a vibration. Everything that's alive has a vibration, which is true in physics, but in quantum physics, everything, even things that aren't alive, do have a vibration. It's all frequency driven and energy driven. And in the quantum space, you start to learn some things that don't make sense to you. So I won't go into those, but the basics from this class are that when something's alive, it vibrates, call it 100%. The moment that it dies or it's plucked from the ground, it goes down to 50% vibration or lower, depending on the plant. And then what we do is we take those plants and we dry them out and we run them through chemicals and we put them through pressure and heat and all these other things, lowering the vibration of that natural element. So by the time almost any natural ingredient gets to you or you're consuming it, it's going to be diminished in its capabilities. Just like an athlete that is well trained as a living person, and that athlete ages and that athlete gets injured and that athlete loses a limb. That's what's happening to plant matter before we consume it. So what our technology does is actually use electric and magnetic frequencies to retrain the electron spin in these atoms. When that happens, what we do is raise the vibration or the frequency of the element to a point where it matches the receptor in the body. So I would say if you're going to get into CBD for the first time, if you want to play the field and try other stuff as far as pain goes, it's going to be 80% of the time you're going to swing and miss. There's just a lot of products that don't measure ingredients. They're not properly dosed. They're not properly made, a lot of them. And in general, everyone's playing on the same field. So if you want to find your own solution, I would look for some of the brands that you see that are sold in doctor's offices, because they're going to have the highest criteria of shelf space. If you're going to a gas station, they're looking for the cheapest product that's made the worst possible way to sell to somebody for $5. You get what you pay for in CBD for sure. All the brands, there's 20 brands that I love outside of my own brand that just make great products. And the thing that you'll notice with them is that they're broadly used in many shelf spaces, but it's the ones in the doctor's offices that generally have just a bit higher efficacy. Or if you don't want to waste time at all, just go to buyquanta.com, buy anything on there, and it's that is going to perform as well as CBD can perform. And CBD doesn't perform for everyone. Some people's pain is so severe that simple natural ingredients won't remedy it. That's a small amount of people, but it's very true. Funny stories, we get these great testimonials about people saying, I tried this and my life changed. I get 10 of them a week at least, and 1 out of those 10 will tear me up, hearing what this stuff has done just for helping people garden again, right? Like people who love to garden and couldn't garden because their knees and joints hurt. Now they can garden 2 hours a day and it makes them happy. Our tagline is reduce pain, increase joy. I mean, that is how we simplify our process. But that kind of stuff, it'll warm you up. But we did have a funny one that came through is we had a guy on Amazon bought our product and gave us a 1 star. It's our only 1-star rating. And the comment was awesome. He said, I broke my ankle, bought your rub, my ankle's still broken, 1 star. That's our worst review. So it's a pretty bad one. It's a 1-star, but we don't heal broken bones. But simple bumps and bruises and pains and stiffness will definitely help you out.
Well, that would be something that would be a miracle if you could figure out how to cure a broken bone by just slathering on a bunch of CBD cream. So I don't even think your competitors are even able to attain that. So I wouldn't worry about that.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, unless you have a plaster of Paris cast and maybe a doctor's office or two, something. But
stem cells and liquid Kevlar, we can merge that thing back in there.
Absolutely. So just want to take a moment and say hello to a couple people that are out there that I see and recognize. Leroy, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How's everyone doing this afternoon?
Very good.
All right. Also, I know we're going to be having our part 2 of this meeting. It's going to be based on Chef Nico, and I was just curious to see what Chef Nico will be cooking up in about 15 minutes.
Me too.
In about 15 minutes, we're going to get some rainbow trout going. We're going to have some nice fresh salads to promote the terpenes. We're going to follow that up with a iron roasted scalloped potato. You guys are going to see some great things happen today.
Wonderful, wonderful. And as always, if anybody would like to come on and tell us a little bit about your business, we do invite everyone to let us know how you're involved in the cannabis space. So for a minute, I don't know if I know Ra is still connecting to audio, but we do have Benjamin and Dakota. So
Yes.
if anybody would like to say hi.
Yes, I'd like to formally introduce Mr. Benjamin Rajote to the group. He is one of the attorneys that we're working with our farm and our collective. So Ben, welcome. I'll go on mute and let you share a little bit about who you are and what you bring to the table.
Hi, thank you, Leroy, and it's great to see you in person by video too. We had a great call just a few minutes ago, so I'm looking forward to working more with you. I'm a DC-based attorney, but I travel quite a bit because most of my clientele is nationwide and some in Canada. Right now, I'm in West Texas working with some farmers that are trying to form a collective for planting industrial hemp. I do a lot of work with FDA to represent CBD companies to make sure that they have a form of safe harbor for the products that they're selling. And that also is a proactive plan to influence the policymaking process that's underway right now. And what that landscape looks like 2 or 3 years from now is going to be much different than how it is now. I work on, in addition to the legal practice and the public affairs, some business advisory, including, helping with business planning, capital raises. I'm affiliated with a large law firm here in Texas that helps with almost all my clients have cross-cutting electric IP issues. And I spent most of my time as a public interest lawyer before I joined government and then went into private practice. So that's not something I do. I was a literature major, but I work with them on the IP issues and on some of the cross-cutting securities regulation. And then on the advisory side, it's helping with building more processing facilities. That's one of the big projects we're working on down here in Texas, particularly in the industrial space, and with building out that supply chain. But I'm really glad that Leroy asked me to join and to talk with all you people today.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. That's for sure. Leroy, thanks for the connection. And as always, much appreciated, brother.
Yes, you're very welcome. I have one more person I'd like to introduce. He's sitting in my office right now, which is extraordinary, which is Mr. Benjamin Smith.
Well done.
Good, nice to meet you.
You guys, I've heard a lot about you. So Ben right here is a partner that I've been working with for about a year now. So so we can get him on the phone. A little bit of history about me. I'm a combat vet, 7.5 years, been blown up 11 times, shot 3, stabbed once, 28 concussions, 3 fractures in my neck, 5 bruises in my brain. When I got out, I was paralyzed on the right side, could not move my arm. or even have feelings. THC and CBD saved my life. I was on 38 pills a day, and I was a zombie when I got out. So went back to the VA. Or I had a girlfriend's, native stepfather that taught me how to make moonshine, extract my own medicine, taught me how to grow about 9.5 years ago when I got out of the military. And he said, you got to get off those pills. And, nothing helped my night terrors, nothing. So that's what got me involved in it. Then I found all the politics and everything that was going on in it. Nobody really understood, went on the streets. So I'm pretty much connected to about 327 farms directly. And I just work with them and move their product. And so I figured, why not? This is my wife's. And then I got married about 5 years ago to a master grower, and she's amazing, and all she ever wanted to do is grow. So I said, well, if you want to grow, then I have to find a way to get rid of it. That way we don't have an abundance of it. So it just turned into a roller coaster and a snowball effect. And now I'm into the hemp nation, and international. So the connections that I have through the military, I was with the recovery asset and logistics team. So I got to work with the Australians to buy a lot of different other countries that gave me a lot of connections overseas. So international shipping and things like that. So I'm reconnecting to them because I had to have buyers over there. So I'm in Canada now, Mexico, really have good partners down there. Mexico doctor that's connected to the cannabis president of cannabis, I guess you would say cannabis president. And then I'm working with a few LPs out in Canada, helping them. So we're trying to work with Mexico to ship product up to Canada, do it correctly, because our cannabis doctor down in Mexico can actually stamp it and be approved to be shipped out. So there's a lot of different things that we're kind of working with right now. And then I got Leroy in my life about 3 months ago, and he's like, you got all this stuff going on, don't you need help? And so, yeah, I do. I'm the nice guy. So he's my pit bull. So he's the one to help me maybe put a little more pressure on people and not let them go over me, make sure the paperwork's squared away because I'm too nice and giving out connections and things like that. But I'm here for the long run, and I can't wait to work with y'all because he was telling me some amazing things about you guys.
One of the things that I'm curious about is, do you have connections that are actually tolling in the United States that might need ethanol? Because in the recent light of the pandemic, I became a PPE business. One of the things that I have access to and selling is ethanol. We can get them because, for people that are making hand sanitizers and things of that nature. And then I realized, well, wait a minute, hold on. We can actually start selling that in the marijuana space as well, because that's how you, absorb and actually extract, I should say, the CBGs, CBDs, and so forth. So if you have any access to that, Eric, I don't know if you toll your own or if you're tolling with somebody else.
Yeah, we have a pretty significant hand sanitizer business. That popped up and launched our own brand.
Eric, you and I will have to talk offline about that, because I actually have a couple of partnerships in the hand sanitizer business as well. And right now I'm working on a school district in Michigan that I may be able to position you for the hand sanitizer, depending upon how things work out right now with them. Sure. That's just something else. But I'm sure you're using a lot of ethanol if you're making hand sanitizer.
Yeah, we don't. We outsource that. So we just have a great relationship. We're a pilot production facility, so we create products. Once we make 5,000-10,000 units. Once they sell, then we offload it to our manufacturers, who we install our technology in their facilities.
Okay, that's really cool. We'll have to have a conversation offline about that, but and dive into that. But PPE business has been fun for the past couple of months. Go ahead, Eric.
Oh yeah. So I didn't catch your name. The vet, the man that we owe a debt of gratitude to. What was your name?
Benjamin Mark Smith.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
So
was born and raised in California, Sonoma County. I was a Greyhound. We had 67 graduates out of my class. Then went to the service, and my dad told me I couldn't come back home because I was going to kill a Porsche that almost ran us off the road. And there was stop traffic. So I was going to go pull them out and show them respect. And my dad says I can't live back in California. So I moved up to Bonanza, which is a very small town, 125 people in it. Very nice. You go down to the country store, you say hi and how's everything going, and everybody know each other by first name. You know, very small town, very relaxed. People not wearing their pants down to their kneecaps. You know, people actually care about the United States and care about our, you know, freedom instead of abusing the freedom. So
Absolutely.
where we're at right now. So yeah, Ben Smith, by the way, just to answer your question.
Well, Ben, I would like to make an offer to you here, which I normally wouldn't do on a video feed. But so we've been donating to vets. I was almost a vet. If I couldn't play sports for scholarship, I was going to the Marine Corps. So a lot of my friends are vets. One of my good buddies drives around with Saddam Hussein's license plate. He pulled him out of the hole. I mean, I was introduced to my technology through Special Forces guys. But we've been polarizing, using our technology of polarization on THC, not for profit, but for R&D and for actual service. So one of my very dear friends, Lance Over, just passed away this last year, but he suffered from PTSD. He was in Panama and all over the place. And I let him try it first once we took it back from the lab. And he literally is not, at that point in time, he was disabled from PTSD. It was truly engulfing him. He tried our you know, one of our little cartridges with the polarized THC. There's no side effects, so it gets rid of anxiety, it gets rid of paranoia. And the first thing I ever said, pulling stuff out of the lab, he took a puff, looked at me, and he goes, "The first time in 10 years, I feel like I'm not in someone's scope right now. Like every moment of my life, I feel like I'm in someone's scope, and now I don't. So I'd love to, you know, get your address and send some up to you.
I'll be your guinea pig. I still fight.
David, Wade is out here for you guys.
I'm fighting PTSD. Fighting PTSD every day. My wife has PTSD. So,
no guinea pig, man. You'll be number 4,000 or 5,000, man. We've helped a lot of vets with this. It's.
If it doesn't affect my brain, see, I can't do anything during the day. I use very low tinctures, you know, CBD during the day. I smoke my one joint a night, which puts me to sleep. When I don't have my joint or don't have that kind of medicine, my night terrors are really bad. So, I mean, I still look for my gun. I still have those issues. So, yeah, I would love to. You know, I still have my, you know, my waves during the day. You know, that's why I have a lot of people that work with other people. So that way, even though they're great contacts, I know my limits with them because they're really hard to work with sometimes.
Sure.
So what I'll do is I'll use those connections to work with those people, so I don't have that issue and do not put on that limit. You know, I don't ever want to show that bad side of me. I'm a really nice guy, but when you really, you know, start messing with my kids' money, you start doing that kind of stuff, I start getting a little bit, or even worse, people that are so down. And what I find in this industry is the guys that have the money, they'll go and they'll start pushing, and then they'll try to push a sell or try to do this, and the product's not that good. It's kind of like what Benjamin just had in Texas. Somebody bought a shit ton of seeds, you know, 2 years ago when the genetics weren't that great, you know, and they're ready to do some tolling and some growing, and then they're going to, well, we're going to process it, and then we're going to make it in pills, and we're going to sell it. Well, how many pills did you sell last year? Right. You know, oh, we haven't really done it. So I give more advice and more counseling to more people than anybody else, and watch their back. And, you know, I told Benjamin, don't worry about it. I got your back. Put him on the phone. And I'm really, really nice. Kind of like what Benjamin will say here is, I was trying to be real nice, but I mean, literally in the middle of the about 3% or the 3/4 way into the conversation, I knew they were bad people. So I just kind of finished it, and I didn't want to be too rough. And then I said, thank you for your time. I hung up. I said, Ben, ask these questions. Get the COA. Get this information, because they're going to lead your farmers in the wrong direction.
Give me your address, brother, man. Let me send you some of this stuff, dude. It's going to help you, man. It won't affect your cognition at all. You won't have cognitive issues.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love to try it out for sure.
Thank you. That's a great offer. Thank you, Eric. Just a couple quick notes tonight. On the capital side of the cannabis industry, the cannabis industry is extremely healthy. And right now we are one of the few businesses that are able to continue to grow and help people build their business even during a pandemic. Remember, cannabis is considered essential. We are open. Everyone is open for business. And, people that are looking to raise capital, sorry for the technical difficulty there. But anybody that's looking to raise capital, let us know. We are still in the position of running Cannabis Pitch Live as a capital raising opportunity, even though we don't have our live events that are bringing everyone together all at one time, and we're bringing who we can together on a weekly basis. So that is still out there, and we would just keep that in mind for everyone as we pivot to our next phase of the program here. I think what we're going to do is turn it over to Chef Nico and go from there. Also, on a quick side note, Eric, check your chat.
All right, guys, one moment before we get on to Chef Nico and go into cooking with terpenes. Fantastic presentation, Eric. We thank you so much. I had a chance to visit their facility last week, and it is a world-class, phenomenal operation, and I'm just so excited to be working with Eric and his team. And again, appreciate the information and the conversation. As always, we are about the business of cannabis and helping people live, as Eric say, with more joy. So again, Reginald Grant here. Your host has been Jeff Walters, Cannabis Pitch Live. We will be having a money-raising pitch event in the middle of August, and we'll announce that tomorrow after our meeting. And here you go. It is Chef Nico. It's all yours. Show us that truck, brother.
All right. Well, how's everybody doing today? Just wanted to promote some amazing food. I have a rainbow trout today that I took the time to slow roast on a red cedar plank. It's at a nice warm temperature. I'm just going to bring it over here to you so you can see this. This is another form of cooking with terpenes. This wood was alive. It had its nutritional value that can now be infused into this trout. So we're going to pair this with some heirloom tomatoes. We're going to add a nice watercress salad to that. And at the end of the day, we want to understand that, as Eric said, we're dealing with a plant. This plant, the moment it is taken from the ground, like us, the moment we are taken from our nutrient point, begins to lose its nutritional value. So just like Eric, he wants to trap that compound and extract that. When it comes to being nutrition fit and making sure that you have the highest quality terpenes, you want to capture that as well. So when it comes to roasting that rainbow trout on the cedar plank, you don't want to add your extractions at that point, because you want to roast at about 400 to 475 degrees. If you were to do your own extraction or purchase your own extraction, anything that is over 350 degrees is greatly going to affect the active compound that is either THC or CBD. So I just want to let that be known. When we're dosing, we want to dose at a nice low rate. The plate that I'm about to put together is about 325 milligrams. What does that mean? That means that you are microdosing your extractions. So number one, you should have good faith and understanding that you extracted well. And number two, we're going to go into microdosing. Everything that had an oil on my end was done from an extraction that was either cold pressed organic coconut oil or grass-fed butter. These are really great, healthy fats that actually extract clean. You don't have to worry about doing anything but just filtering the flowers, and that's more the extraction that I'm talking about. There's many others, but right now I'm focusing on your flower extractions. Okay, so we're just going to jump into it real quick, plate this up, and have a great understanding of what all this looks like. Now, in the nature of putting together a plate, you want to know that all of this is also a good, healthy, cognitive meal. Because we're talking about some gentlemen that may have some PTSD or a community out there that goes through anxiety, we also want to combine these properties together on a plate that is actually going to assist with neurological bionutrition. By doing this, we can now shake hands with either THC or CBD, and just salute to CBD because out of the two, it is the only one that is holding B complex formulas inside of it. This means now that you actually have niacin, you have riboflavin. In addition to that, you have one of my most favorite, which is B12. And Eric may know this best because he's jumping into the quantified side of it. The plant is green. When the plant is green, that means its carbon code is carbon atom 12. And this is when the electrons, the protons, and the neutrons can be quantified and affected to each human code. So we're moving in the same direction, and B12 is your conversion vitamin. So all this talk that I'm saying, it's not going to work in the body unless you have these vitamins that literally, like a train track, convert you from express to local stops. So that's basically what we're doing with nutrition. We're putting all this together. We're putting about a half of a teaspoon. A half of a teaspoon will get you about 300 milligrams. If you want to get to precisely 325 milligrams, you'll do half of a teaspoon and then 1/10 of a teaspoon. And that will put you around the range of 325 milligrams. That may sound a little scary for you guys, but I want you to understand when we're talking about milligrams, we have to compare it to grams. So to equal 1 gram, you have 1,000 milligrams. So what I'm doing is I'm breaking that up almost into 3 sections for the beginners. The experienced people, you guys know how to dose, or you've been down the rabbit hole a few times and it's not that scary anymore. So these are for the beginners, the novice. Understand you can break that 1,000 milligrams up and you can do it in 3 shot sections. So you get a 3, you get another 3, which makes 6, you get another 3, which makes 9. So for the beginners, you just want to stay in that 300 range. Now we can add sauces, we can add a higher dose to make it 600, to make it 900 and beyond. But right now, safety first. This isn't a new thing, but I see a lot of new people getting into a very old thing, doing an uneducated move, which is not asking questions from the experts. So this is why we're putting all this together. So real simple. In addition to that, we have a nice iron skillet right here. And for those that may not know, this is how you infuse iron properties into your food. So we're going to get these iron properties from these potatoes right onto our plate. We're going to just place that nicely there. These, once again, were oiled, salt, pepper, and garlic, and that oil was the organic coconut sativa. Once again, all of it's microdosed, so the plate will come together quite nicely. We're going to also work with phytonutrients. I will bring the plate up so you guys can see, but this watercress here is 100% raw. And the reason why we're doing raw is because phytonutrients exist only in the raw chemical conversion of plants. This is why consuming your fresh, raw fruits or vegetables work perfectly during a combined plate when cooking with terpenes, because we want as much phyto experience for the body. This is why people that may not have the best diet love CBD, because it is a plant-based element that was trapped in its form to create the best active compound. When you're dealing with just what we would call a regular green vegetable, we want to make sure that that's what we're experiencing for the body. So we're placing that here. We're going to put these heirloom tomatoes right on top. There we go. Real simple and easy. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to show you. This is just a regular plate. Looks awesome. And now look what happens. Oh, look, a wonderful trout showing up, making this complete meal absolutely wonderful. And then to promote our vitamin A superfood, I am going to sprinkle some wonderful crushed flowers that happens to be courtesy of my farmer. Shout out to that farmer. And this is lava cake. Now this, good people, is not going to get you high. This is THCA. THCA has no active compound for psychological effects. You must turn it into a decarb of some kind, whether it's an extraction or whether taking a hit, and that will turn this into Delta-9. So those that may not consume herb to get high, this is a perfect way to actually dose your plate without affecting any of the psychoactive abilities. It's going to give you a great form of vitamin A. It's a superfood. Once again, This beautiful plate can simply be made at home. You just have to remember low and slow, meaning dose very low and take it slow. For the beginners, chart. It may seem nerdish, but chart your experience. You will thank us all later when you're in that medium to advanced level and you're helping others work to that next stage, because we want to make sure that there's more plant education for all of our businesses to thrive. And here we go, cooking with terpenes. It can't get any more simple than that. We're just going to keep this going on week after week. Gentlemen, you have any questions for me?
All right, so many people are on mute. I don't know if anybody wants to unmute themselves and actually ask a question or put it in the chat, and I'll be happy to facilitate the questions to Chef Nico. Go ahead, Eric.
Not really a question, I have a statement. Chef Nico, that was awesome. Like,
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
phenomenal, man. I want to get together with you and just discuss food. We're getting into food in late 2021 is our plan, and you seem to be the right man to do some implementation of testing. Also, I'd like to figure out how we can get, you know, like when the pandemic's over, are you for hire for dinners and parties and things like that?
That's absolutely correct. I basically cater to the need of my client. If there is a need to know any more of this plant-based education, I put my website in the chat box for everybody here.
Nico, we lost you, buddy. You're on mute. Nico.
Oh, you're on mute.
You're on mute, Nico. Reggie, can you unmute Nico?
Oh, he's got it.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to start this over again. Just so that you understand, the website is inside the chat box for those that are inside the meeting. For those that are viewing, you can check me out on my website at pvtchefnico.com, and that's where you can get the ebook. I called myself to action during this COVID-19 process because this is just a quick breakdown of where this food science comes from before the culinary arts. My mother detoxed her womb and had my brother and I in a very plant-based mindset. And while we were in the developing stages, she studied every international decimal point unit of every fruit and every vegetable alphabetically, and literally like a DJ dialed our metabolic rate from the ages of 0 to 13, then handed us information at the age of 13, said, you are grown men now, uphold your life with this information. So as I grew into my world of being a chef, it is very important to pass this type of information on, because it's very hard to find this if you're not a data and research monger like myself. So I've made it very simple. It's a very simple read. It's a wonderful handbook. And outside of that, if you guys aren't going to do that, just come check us out every week, and I'm going to give you some great plant-based education. Look at the people on board. We're all in this, once again, because we are positive capitalists. And we know that if we're working with the very last green gold, which is hemp or THC, we know that we can provide you not only with a quality product, but great education at the same time. So yes, Eric, salute to you. We will definitely be in touch. I'll send the information when we're offline, but if anybody has any questions moving forward, if not, I'll introduce you to a few more health components that took place on the plate. You just let me know.
Okay. I'm looking right now, and I don't see any questions on the chat. Does anybody else want to speak up real quickly? All right, Chef Nico, let's move to the second section of this. And, what is the next thing that we're going to talk about?
Okay, so in the nature of the plate that was made, there was a lot of plant-based technology that went into this. Yes, it just looks like a tomato salad, but what am I going for with those colors? Colors are, once again, another form of phytonutrients. So the red is a part of 25,000 flavonoids that are in phytonutrients. That color red, so just remember this, anything red helps convert carbohydrates into energy. This is how this food is going to help the THC, it's going to help the CBD actually do its job, which is extremely important, because at the end of the day, if we're not converting our food into energy, we're having 0 calories. It sounds good, but 0 calories means 0 energy. So this is the main reason why we're keeping it simple. We're attracting the eyes with great color, and then we have yellow tomatoes, and that is a great way of putting another form of vitamin C, because any fruit or vegetable that is yellow is high in vitamin C. Now, simple toss with salt, pepper, garlic, and some fresh herbs. These fresh herbs are key to assisting the body. Why? Because we are working with a simple herb called rosemary. I am going to bring this to the camera. This is a great friend of mine. Rosemary wants to introduce themselves to you as a adaptogen herb. That means that this herb has 5 things. 1, it is anti-inflammatory. 2, it is antiviral. 3, it is antidepressant. 4, it balances every human hormone. And then 5, it is antibacterial. When you mince that up and you put that into a cold phytonutrient salad, now you have the ability every time you chew to have your body promote those 5 things per chew. You don't have to complete the plate. This is another form of terpene microdosing. This is going to usher along all the rest of the information that is coming from your extraction. At the end of the day, if I'm not talking about an extraction, we're just talking about a wonderful plate of food. This is why we're marrying both great food and extractions to understand how do I dose and just enjoy this meal like you would enjoy a glass of wine with a regular plate. That's what about 300, 325 is going to do to the body. Mellow you out, relax your body, start detoxing itself, because CBD and THC, when you consume it, it filters through the liver. When you smoke it, it filters through the lungs. So you have a wonderful process to consume this and have things filter through the liver, and the liver actually detoxes itself. So the more properties that you're placing that are going to help the body, help out with the extraction process. Always remember to keep it clean. Yeah, you're going to eat the stuff and have the fats and have the candies, that's fine. But don't just run to one of Eric's products and be like, oh yeah, it's going to work. No, you have to shake hands with a positive product that took a lot of time. So you have to do pre and post. If you ate like crap 2 days ago, slow it down before you take a product, especially before you leave a review. Make sure that you are representing that product. Nobody puts Honda oil into an Audi. So this is where we're going with this. We must understand pre and post to get the best out of everything that we're doing. And that's basically it. Outside of that, it's a wonderful plate of food. You leave all the food science up to me, and as we go, we just cook them with terpenes.
Okay, everybody. Well, thank you for that, Chef Nico, and much appreciate your contribution week in and week out. Joe, good to see you tonight. Thanks.
Hey, gentlemen, how we doing?
Good, Joe. Why don't you give us a little insight on edibles? Just touch on the edibles industry before we get out of here. We're got about 15 minutes left, so.
All right, wonderful, wonderful.
All right, so go ahead, Joe. Take it away.
Oh, we're educating on edibles dosing. What have we been through so far?
Well,
where we want to start?
All right, so let's just say this. I think tonight where we can jump back into, Nico was talking a lot about microdosing, and so was Eric in the past, and I'm sure you remember Eric from the event in
Absolutely.
LA.
Good to see you, Eric.
You know, right now what we're focusing on here is the whole idea of where the market is in the edibles. What are you guys doing to help patients and keep to nature's blessing? And give us a background of what's going on really in the market, if you will.
Absolutely, guys. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Joe Hager. I'm a managing partner of Nature's Key down in Oklahoma City. We are a manufacturer of edibles ranging from microdose to megadose to mixed dose. We offer a wide variety of selections for a multitude of patients with needs. Right now, as far as the market's concerned, you know, it's crazy right now. In the midst of COVID, we definitely saw a spike. We saw a little bit of a downward trend afterwards, and now we're starting to see that uptick again.
Talking with our team, having an understanding of consumer behavior, we're confident that we're going to see an uptick in business. People are going to need us more than ever. And we're confident that what we're developing currently is really going to be able to help with that. As Chef probably echoed tonight, terpenes is the next thing. I mean, when you're able to design profiles for sleep, for energy, for focus, that is the next layer of the onion into personalized healthcare that we are really trying to drive at. We're looking to partner with medical communities here in Oklahoma, and also specific parts of the community that have a unique access and ability to want to be a part of some form of study, some form of tracking, and actually being to better understand exactly how this is helping our patients. So as far as what I believe the market will bring, I think it's going to continue to be very strong. I think we will continue to be a necessary open business. And I think, the work that we're doing down here, I'm very, very encouraged to see where we're going.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Joe. And today, Chef Nico was very, very kind in showing us how to manage the microdosing in the cooking process. So how would you tell us to manage the microdosing from an edibles process? What you're
Sure.
on the show?
Absolutely. And I don't want to step on Nico in any way and his artistry that he brings to the table. But as far as, what a gummy can offer compared to, a home cooked meal, I'll equate it to, you can either pick up the prescription that has the precise dosing, or we could be in the ballpark. And again, Chef, that's not just to say, with us, we're doing an exact dosing. We are offering you a medication that will be the same every single time. We are looking for you to have a repeatable, reputable experience so that you can find where you fit in our line, and also you can have the highest quality of life. That's as simple as it is.
All right. So does anybody have any questions for Joe tonight?
Yeah, Joe, it's Eric.
Absolutely, Eric. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. We are exploring gummies right now and are looking for teams that already know what they're doing for co-branding.
Absolutely.
How many different SKUs do you have, and are you making your own gummies or outsourcing?
Yes, we're making our own gummies. We're very proud to say that as far as the technology goes, we were one of the first 2 machines from Europe, from Baker Perkins, a very, very high quality confectionery machine. And we've figured out the dosing. So we absolutely will be open to co-branding opportunities. We believe in the big cannabis business, the big C, and part of that is partnerships and putting together our minds to benefit our communities as much as possible. So I would absolutely welcome the conversation, Eric, and we're starting to work with people out of state, New York, Missouri, Oregon. We're talking with some people out there as well to explore these opportunities. And like I said earlier, we've really had some great success with adding specific terpene profiles back into our gummies. And that's our main driver for our business. We do offer a chocolate line as well. We offer a cereal bar line. But as far as where we're wanting to go with that, we do want to attack the CBD into the business. I'd be lying if I said THC is our focus right now. Simply from a cash flow standpoint, it's allowing us to get where we want to go and allowing us to do what we want to do. So again, I would welcome that conversation, and we are absolutely open.
Are the machines easy to clean? Because what
Absolutely.
I'm looking for, I'm not really looking for, like, there's plenty of CBD guys out there. I'm looking for like really good gummy guys because we're getting into vitamin A, vitamin D,
Yeah, sure.
all gummies.
Absolutely, and it's very simple. We use boiling water to clean our machines. Perfect. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's really making candy with precise dosing, and we've done the test. We continue to do the test again, so that you can have a repeatable, reputable experience.
Let's talk. Get my number from Reggie.
Absolutely.
Give me a buzz tomorrow because we're launching 16 products on our own right now, but we have 30 in SKU. Half of the ones that are remaining are gummies, and they're for mainstream usage. So there'll be some CBD, but most of it will be vitamin based and hormone based.
Wonderful.
Love the chat. Let's talk.
Looking forward to the chat.
Absolutely.
I love making money. You're getting done. Again, that's what this platform is all about. We are all in the business of generating revenue for our families and our needs and producing world-class products, and that's what our platform is about, connecting good people together. So again, I'm Reginald Grant. It's just about putting the things together in a good way to facilitate positive relationships. I thank everybody on board and on the call. Jeff, back to you.
All right. Well, I was just going to close it out for tonight and say thank you to everybody for joining. I hope you enjoyed the show. Every Wednesday, we're going to be extending our programming now, where we're going to have 30 to 45 minutes of cannabis communication talks with a sponsor. And we thank our sponsor tonight, Eric Quanta, for joining us tonight. And we're going to be learning a little bit about each business as we grow along and making new relationships. We're really thankful to have the opportunity to put Joe and Eric together tonight and to really develop strong relationships here for the cannabis community. We want to keep doing this each and every week. And then after that, at about 7:30 Eastern time, we will be moving to cooking with terpenes on a weekly basis. And we look forward to Chef Nico's involvement in the continued growth of cookingwithterpenes.com and the new brand that Cannabis Pitch Live has helped launch. So again, for the founders of Cannabis Pitch Live, Reggie, myself, and Joe, we look forward to seeing you each and every week and, growing our brand and growing your brand with us. So, and always remember, if you have anything that you want to say, throw it up in the chats as we move along, and there's opportunity for everyone to make announcements about their business here. This is a forum for growth. This is not a forum for, just sitting back and not doing anything about it. We're taking this pandemic seriously. We look forward to being able to come back to live events as soon as possible and getting you all back in one room. But for now, we appreciate everyone joining and thank you for your time tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay, listen, gentlemen, before we head out, a quick 15-second demo just to promote this plant-based education. People at home, grab a piece of mint, tear it, smell it, terpenes. People at home, grab a lime, scratch it, smell it, terpenes. It's simple, it's plant-based. We'll see you next week.
Awesome, guys. Be safe, everyone.
Gotta love it, guys. Thank you so much. I love this stuff.
Take care.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Dr. Chef Nico. Thanks, everybody else, Leroy and Benjamin and everybody else on the call. Appreciate you. Have an exceptional week. We'll see you same time next week, Wednesday, 4 o'clock West Coast, 7 o'clock East Coast. Peace, love, and happiness. We're out.
Take care, everyone.
All right, be good.